Hi Mark, I'm Rachel. My student number is 24. The topic of this speech is how we can eat our landscapes. The speaker is Wurhurst. I'm a junior student in NCUE. I'm going to begin in this speech. The will to live life differently can start in some of the most unusual places. This is where I come from. Todmorden is a market town in the north of England. 15,000 people between Leeds and Manchester. Fairly normal market town. It used to look like this, and now it's more like this. With fruit and veggies and herbs sprouting up all over the place. They call it propaganda gardening. Laughter. Corner Road Railway Station car park. Front of a house center. People's front gardens, and even in front of the police station. Laughter. We've got edible canned topaz, and we've got sporting commentaries. The soil is extremely good. Laughter. We've even invented a new form of tourism. It's called vegetable tourism, and believe it or not, people come from all over the world to poke around in our raised beds, even when there's not much growing. Laughter. But it starts a conversation. Laughter. And you know, we're not doing it because we're bored. Laughter. We're doing it because we want to start a revolution. We try to answer this simple question. Can you find a unifying language that cuts across age and income and culture that will help people themselves find a new way of living? See spaces around them differently. Think about the resources they use differently. Interact differently. Can we find that language? And then, can we replicate those actions? And the answer will appear to be yes, and the language will appear to be food. So 3.5 years ago, a few of us sat around a kitchen table and we just invented the whole thing. After a pause, we came up with a really simple game plan that we put to a public meeting. We did not consult, we did not write a report, enough of all that, laughter, and we set that public meeting into modern. Look, let's imagine that our town is focused around three paths, a community path, now where we live our everyday lives, a learning path, what we teach our kids in school and what new skills we share amongst ourselves, and business, what we do with the pound in our pocket and which business we choose to support. Now let's image those paths agitated with community actions around food. If we start one of those community paths spinning, that's really great. That really starts to empower people. But if we can then spin that community path with the learning path, and then spin it with the business path, we've got a really show there. We've got some action there. We're starting to build resilience ourselves. We're starting to reinvent community ourselves, and we've done it all without a flipping strategy document. Applause. And here's the thing as well. We've not asked anybody's permission to do this. We're just doing it. Laughter. And we're certainly not waiting for that check to drop through the letterbox before we start. And most importantly of all, we're not only by the sophisticated arguments that say these small actions are meaningless in the face of tomorrow's problems, because I have seen the power of small actions, and it is awesome. So back to the public meeting. Laughter. They put the proposition to the meeting, 2 seconds, and then the room exploded. I have never ever experienced anything like that in my life, and it's been the same in every single room in every town that we've ever told our story. People are ready and respond to the story of food. They want positive actions they can engage in and in their bonds, and they know it's time to take personal responsibility and invest in more kindness to each other and to the environment. And since we had that meeting 3.5 years ago, it's been a heck of a roller coaster. We started with a seed swipe, really simple stuff, and then we took an area of land, a strip on the side of our main road, which was a dog toilet, because basically, and we turned it into a really lovely herb garden. We took the corner of the car park in the station that you saw, and we made vegetable beds for everybody to share and pick from themselves. We went to the doctors. We've just had a million pound health center built in Todmorden, and for some reason that I cannot comprehend, it has been surrounded by prickly plants laughter. So we went to the doctor and said, would you mind us taking a nap? They said, absolutely fine, provided you get plenty information, and you do it in Latin and you do it in triplicate. So we did. Laughter. And now there are fruit trees and bushes and herbs and vegetables around the doctor's surgery, and there's been lots of other examples, like the corn that was in front of the police station and the old people's home that we've planted with food that they can pick and grow. But it isn't just about growing, because we all are part of this jigsaw. It's about taking those artistic people in your community and doing some fabulous designs in those great spaces to explain to people what's growing there. Because there's so many people that don't really recognize a vegetable unless it's in a bit of plastic with a bit of an instruction packet on the top. Laughter. So we have some people who decide these things. If it looks like this, please don't pick it. But if it looks like this, help yourself. This is about sharing and investing in kindness. And for those people that don't want to do either of those things, maybe they can cook, so we pick them seasonally. And then we go on the street or in the pub or in the church or wherever people are living their lives. This is about us going to the people and saying, we are all part of the local food jigsaw, we are all part of a solution. And then because we know we've got vegetable tourists and we love them to be in there, absolutely fantastic. We thought, what could we do to give them an even better experience? So we invented without asking. Of course, the incredible edible green root, and this is the root of exhibition gardens, and edible topaz in bee-friendly flights, and the story of pollinators is a lucidity flight that takes people through the whole of our town, pizza cafes and our small shops, through our market, not just to and from the supermarket. And we're helping that in changing people's football around your town. We're also changing their behavior. And then there's the second plate, the learning plate. Well, we're in partnership with the high school. We've created a company. We're designing and building an aquaponics unit in Sundance that was there at the back of the high school like you do. And now we're going to be growing fish and vegetables in an ultra with speeds, and the kids are having us build that, and the kids are on the board, and because the committee was really keen on working with the high school is now teaching agriculture, and because it's teaching agriculture, we started to think, how could we then get those kids that never had a qualification before in their lives but are really excited about growing? How can we give them some more experience? So we got some land that was donated by a local garden center. It was really quite muddy, but in a truly incredible way, totally voluntary led. We have turned that into a market garden training center. And then it's polytunnels in raised beds in all the sense you need to get the soil under your fingers and think maybe there's a job in this for me in the future. And because we were doing that, some local academics said, we could have this like a culture course for you. There's not one that we know of, so we're doing that. We're going to launch it later this year, and it's all an experiment, and it's all voluntary. And then there's the third plate, because if you work through an edible landscape, and if you're learning new skills, and you start to get interested in what's growing seasonally, you might just want to spend more of your own money in support of local producers, not just bag, but meat and cheese and beer and whatever else it might be. But then we're just community group. No, we're just all volunteers. What can we actually do? So we did some really simple things. We fundraised, we got some blackboards, we put incredible edible on the top, we kept at every market trader that was selling locally. And they scribbled on what they were selling in any one week. Really popular. People congregated around us, sales were up. And then we had a chat with the farmers, and we said, we're really serious about this, but they didn't actually believe us, so we thought, okay, what should we do? And then if we can create a campaign around one product and show them there is local loyalty to that product, maybe they'll change their mind and see we're serious. So we launched a campaign because it just amuses me, called Every Egg Matters Laughter. And what we did was put people on our egg map. It's a still stylized map of Tugmorden. Anybody selling their excess eggs at the garden gate, perfectly legally, to their neighbors. We've stuck on there. We started with 4, and we've now got 64 on. And the result of that was that people were then going into shops asking for a local Tugmorden egg. And the result of that was some farmers upped the amount of flocks they got of free-range birds, and then they went on to meat birds. And although these are really small steps, the increasing local economic competence is starting to play out in a number of ways, and we now have farmers doing cheese and deaths of their flocks and rear breed pigs. And they're doing pasties and pies and things that they would have never done before. We've got increasing market stalls selling local food. And a survey that local students did for us, 49% of all food traders in that town said their bottom line had increased because of what we were actually doing. And we're just volunteers, and it's only an experiment. After. Now, none of this is rocket science. It certainly is not clever, and it's not original, but it is drawn up and it is inclusive. This is not a movement for those people that are going to sell themselves out anyway. This is a movement for everyone. We have a motto: if you eat, you're in. Laughter applause. Across age, across income, across culture. It's been really quite a roller coaster experience, but going back to the first question that we asked, is it replicable? Replicable? Yeah, it most certainly is replicable. More than 30 towns in England now are spinning the incredible edible pet. Whichever way they want to do it of their own volition, they're trying to make their own lives differently. And worldwide, we've got communities across America and Japan. It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, America and Japan and New Zealand. People after the earthquake in New Zealand visited us in order to incorporate some of these public spiritualities around local grain into the heart of Christchurch. And none of these take more money and none of these demands a bureaucracy, but it does demand that you think things differently and you are prepared to bend budgets and work programs in order to create this support framework that communities can bounce off. And there is some great ideas already in our patch. Our local authority has decided to make everywhere incredible edible, and in support of that have decided to do things. First, they are going to create an asset register of spare land that they've got. Put it in a food bank so the communities can use that wherever they live, and they are going to underpin that with a license. And then they've said to every single one of their workforce, if you can help those communities grow and help them to maintain their species. Suddenly, we're seeing actions on the ground from local government. We're seeing this mentoring with responding creatively at least to what real demanded of us. And there's lots more you could do. I mean, just to list a few. One, please stop putting prickly pens around public buildings. It's a waste of space. Laughter. Secondly, please create edible landscapes so that our children start to walk past their food day in and day out on our high streets, in our parks, wherever they might be. Inspire local planners to put the food sites at the heart of the town and the city plan, not relegate them to the edge of the settlements that nobody can see. Encourage all our schools to take this seriously. This isn't a second-class exercise. If we want to inspire the farmers of tomorrow, then please let us say to every school, create a sense of purpose around the importance to the environment. Look at food and stores, put that at the heart of your school culture, and you will create a different generation. There are so many things you can do, but ultimately this is about something really simple. Through an organic process, through an increasing recognition of power of small actions, we are starting at last to believe in ourselves again and to believe in our capacity, each and every one of us, to build a different and a kinder future. And in my book, that's incredible. Thank you. Applause. Applause. Thank you very much. Applause. The stage is finished. Thank you, Mark.